Welcome to the Every Mom is an Athlete podcast, where we believe that motherhood is inherently athletic. I see you lifting car seats, chasing toddlers, and carrying groceries one-handed while holding a baby and a coffee. Your daily life is a workout. I'm Dr. Karlie, pregnancy and postpartum expert, sports chiropractor, strength coach, entrepreneur, and mom of 3. Here you'll find solo episodes and real conversations with other moms and leading experts, so you can live your strongest, healthiest, most aligned life in motherhood. No matter how long it's been since you've had your baby, whether you're reconnecting with your body, rebuilding your strength, or just figuring out what feels good again, you're in the right place. Hello, Strong Moms. Today I am so excited to share my interview with you with Jessica Cahoy. Jessica is a former nurse and also a 5 times CrossFit Games athlete. She has taken the last 15 years of her professional, personal, and coaching experience and now helps women be metabolically and hormonally healthy. I had followed Jessica as like a fangirl for so many years. It has been so cool to watch her turn from this like crazy high-level athlete and now into a mom of 2, and now helping women understand that like they don't have to be killing themselves in the gym to feel good, to look good, to be healthy. And it was just such a joy being able to interview her. She has lots of great reasons why you might want to look at doing lower intensity interval training instead of higher intensity. And it was such an informative and engaging conversation. I'm so excited to share. So I hope you enjoy this. As always, please don't make me beg for your ratings and reviews. I would just love for you to go to that page, hit 5 stars, leave a review. This helps other moms to find us and to know that they're not alone. There are other strong moms just like them who are working hard through motherhood, being their best selves, and really embracing this time of life. All right, enjoy this interview with Jessica Cahoy. All right, strong moms, here we are. We have Jessica Cahoy today with us. Obviously, I just talked about her a little bit in our intro, but I would love if you could just introduce yourself, give us a little history of your athletic background, and then we'll just get started talking about all things mom and fitness and wherever it goes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Hello, everybody. My name is Jess, former CrossFit Games athlete and former nurse. I graduated nursing school and started CrossFit in 2013 and kind of went on this really cool adventure of like, became a nurse because I wanted to help people. So I was living this life, like working in the hospital, helping people with their medications and their chronic diseases, and also hanging out in the CrossFit gym, seeing people transform their lives with diet and exercise. And like me being the problem solver that I am, I'm like, okay, I want to actually help people, not just like enable their problems with their chronic diseases and medications. So make a very long story short, I ended up quitting my nursing career, competing competitively in CrossFit. I became an online nutrition coach. And then once I retired from competing in CrossFit, I also eventually became burnt out on one-on-one nutrition coaching. So I started a fitness app, and now I mentor other people on how to become nutrition coaches so I can like make my reach go exponential, helping people with their diet, and then my fitness app help them with their exercise. So mama, entrepreneur, business owner, former nurse, former CrossFit Games athlete, coming at you.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think that happens a lot, just like you start off in one aspect of like healthcare or, just like you said, helping people some way. And then all of a sudden you like get into the real world, I think, and it like morphs.
Yeah. I just don't think I had a realistic expectation I just didn't know our healthcare system. And like I said, I became a nurse because I wanted to help people. And then you learn the system and you're mass producing healthcare. So there has to be systems and policies, and you can't mass produce what I do now. And so I was just like, this is not for me. I'm going to go down to a smaller scale, start my own deal. And I get to help way more women doing what I'm doing and actually helping them now, which is amazing. And it like fills my cup so much.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that transition. So how did you get into learning about nutrition? Like, give me sort of the rundown behind that.
Yeah. So I started competing in CrossFit, and I was still working as a nurse at the time. And obviously, when you get in the CrossFit space, you learn how nutrition really fuels your performance. And so I found somebody who could help. I started like looking at the food choices, implementing more protein into my diet, and then eventually got to the point where I wanted a coach to help me with my macros to really dial in the nutrition aspect. So in 2016, I started working with a coach. His name is Jordan Feigenbaum, and he really taught me about macros and how to fuel my body for performance. And then I also saw this amazing transition because, I'm your typical girl. I've always wanted to have abs, have a toned look, but I was always like that skinny fat, like doing the heavy cardio, running miles and miles and miles and miles, like, and never got that result that I wanted. So once I started implementing the protein and sufficient carbs and fats and fuel for my body and lifting weights, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a six pack. Oh my gosh, I have toned arms. And totally drank the CrossFit Kool-Aid and like took it to the way extreme to where I was squatting over 300 pounds and, went a little crazy with it. But I now that I'm out of the CrossFit competitive space, I'm like, okay, I now have 15 years of real life experience, formal education, now coaching experience, and I'm not competing. So I'm not having to like shove my face with all this food and lift all the weights. Like, let's take all this knowledge and turn it into that perfect body that we've always wanted of like energy, toned, cutting down the excess body fat, all that stuff. And now being a mom, it's all morphed into this wonderful picture that it is now.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So tell me a little bit, how old are your kiddos?
I have almost 3 in November, and then that's my daughter Charlotte, and then my son will be 2 in February, which is crazy.
Oh, they're so young still.
They're so young and they're only 15 months apart.
Yeah,
But
you
I'm
did
like,
it.
I'm going to be 34. We got to get the show on the road here.
Yeah, it's wild. I just had my last baby at 39, like right before I turned 40. And I was like, oh man, this is a different ball game than when I was 34.
I can't imagine. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's so
How many
different.
kids do you have?
I have three. Yeah, so I have
Okay.
three. Six. He just turned six, my oldest, and then 3 and 8 months.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're like on that fence of, we have one girl, one boy. Do we go for one more and risk screwing it up or,
I know.
regretting not having more children?
Oh man. Well, don't talk to me because anyone who has 3 kids will tell you to have 3 kids because it's just like, I don't know, that third one is just like, I don't know, makes the family. It's very fun.
Does it put you over the edge though? That's like,
I don't think so.
no,
Honestly, no.
okay.
I remember I have a really good girlfriend and she has 3 kids and I remember her saying like, dude, it's easier than having two. And I was like, yeah, right. And now I'm like, okay, she's right because I don't know, because yours are pretty close in age, like maybe wait a year or two, but like
Yeah,
the older
definitely wait.
ones, yeah. Like my 6-year-old is super helpful now and they just like play together and like they're so sweet with the baby. Anyways, I don't know, 3 kids is very fun. I'm sure you've seen those reels or you will now of like, the 3-kid families because it's just like always chaos,
Right.
it's pretty fun.
I would be okay with one more. My husband's the one that needs more convincing. So I
Yeah.
actually appreciate your perspective because I'm like, it's not going to implode what we've got going on,
No, it's so great. I love it. Oh man. Okay, so speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about that as far as new moms, people who are pregnant. I'm sure you work with, women of all across the spectrum, but let's talk a little bit about that, how you work with them differently than how you work with, maybe someone who's 5 years more postpartum. I'm so interested in what that looks like.
Yeah. So coming off of competing, my world is a lot of CrossFitters. I know this world isn't really a lot of CrossFitters, but I deal with a lot of women who like did CrossFit in their 20s, and maybe someone listening can relate to this. And it's like you're transitioning out of college. Maybe you did some sort of sport or had a competitive nature. Is like, so you get into your 20s, you have your career, you're establishing your life, and your workout routine is like all or nothing, balls to the wall. I got to do my HIIT workouts. I got to like so same with
Yes.
CrossFitters.
Yes.
And then we get pregnant, then we have babies. Now we're 30, we're postpartum, and we're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I help women, all women, not just pregnant and postpartum, transition like, okay, let's chill. And we'll talk about, I think you and I will talk about stress here in a little bit. That's a big part of the equation. But for my pregnant women and breastfeeding, I'm a big advocate for like, hey, we're not working out to get the body composition that we want. Like we're actually going in the opposite direction, getting a big fat belly and needing higher body fat to support the baby and the breast milk. The point of working out when you're pregnant is to move your body. Let's move some blood around for the baby. You want to have endurance for delivery. You want to have strength for delivery. You want to have strength for postpartum. So we're not chasing body composition goals during pregnancy. That's not the point. The point is to let's keep moving and do what you can. Listen to your body. If you're tired, sit down. Like I'll never forget coming off competing. I got pregnant very soon after, a couple months later. I was in my first trimester, and you don't know first trimester fatigue until you experience it yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I literally came from being one of the best athletes in the world to I was doing 10 reps of lightweight in a workout, and I literally had to sit down. And that was like unheard of for me because of what I had just done in my life. And my gym owner was like, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" Because it was like, Jess does not sit down in a workout. And so listen to your body. Your body talks to you. I tell my girls that all the time. And just like let your body do what it needs to do, but like get up and move. As you progress through the second trimester, you're obviously watching your growing belly. You're watching your coning. You don't want to do like, anything that causes your belly to do the little cone.
Yeah.
That includes, which I didn't realize, vertical pulling. So like in CrossFit, we do like skiing or pull-ups. So like just being very mindful, have your friend look at your belly. Hey, does it look like it's coning? And like find a program that caters to that. And Karlie, you probably have a pregnancy program.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then third trimester, especially again, for my CrossFit girls, it's like we're used to strength training, and I'm going to maybe ruffle some feathers here. I see a lot of girls who come from a strength training background, get to their third trimester, they're still lifting pretty heavy, or some girls even like to, like you see on Instagram, go for PRs during pregnancy. I'm going to advocate against that. And again, you're speaking to one of the strongest athletes in CrossFit. Like I love heavy barbell, or loved, not anymore. I loved heavy barbells. I want to discourage that because I see so many girls end up having C-sections because their pelvic floor, their abdomen is so tight, their body can't relax, and they can't have a vaginal delivery that way, and they end up having a C-section. So yes, strength train, but I personally, and again, this is definitely going to ruffle some feathers, I don't recommend super heavy lifting through pregnancy because you want especially if you come from that background too. Like this is all kind of relative based on your background and what you come from, but like it's okay to not lift as heavy as you possibly can all the way through your pregnancy. Like let your body chill. I don't believe it's like God's design for our bodies to have super insane muscle mass, and your body needs to like relax to get that baby out. So I don't know. Do you have opinions on that, Karlie?
Yeah, I definitely think the same thing, but it's interesting having gone through it 3 times. So my first pregnancy, I was like the most competitive, obviously not nearly as competitive as you, but in CrossFit, I'd been coaching for, 10 years at that point, and I just didn't stop. I just went right through, and it was great. Like I had a great experience. My second pregnancy, my son was breech, and I do wonder, because you do see that a lot, that sometimes the baby can't get into a good position, because of, like you said, that tightness, whether it's in the abs, whether it's in the pelvic floor. My third pregnancy, interestingly enough, I was the oldest, obviously. What I did was sort of what you're talking about, which is I really focused on core work, but like, pregnancy safe, quote unquote, core work, right? That was going to not only like strengthen my low back, my glutes, my core, but also work on relaxing the pelvic floor. And I just didn't have the time to, work out. I already had 2 kids, but that was my best recovery. And I got my unmedicated VBAC. So not that that's like exactly why, but I do think it's a factor, right? And you hear that sort of like, I don't know, I've heard some OBs say that, like, oh, the CrossFitters, their core is too tight. They can't, the baby can't flip. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not just CrossFitters, but there is like some bit of truth to that, So yeah, I totally agree.
It's been fun. I am friends with a lot of my competitors. And again, maybe this is a very small portion of the population. Like not many women make it to the CrossFit Games or are competing at a high level. But it's just so interesting they're all starting to have babies, and the majority of them are having C-sections. And I'm like, man, it's really cool to be like collecting this data, to be able to just educate on it of like, hey girls, like we don't really need to be like barbells over 200 pounds. Like we don't necessarily need to be
Probably
doing
not
that in
necessary. Yeah.
pregnancy, right? Like
Yeah.
unless you want a C-section, like I don't know, maybe you do.
Yeah. And I always just tell people, again, not to that extreme, but it's a cost benefit analysis. So it's like, can you still do pull-ups at 32-week pregnant? Maybe, sure. Should you? Probably not. Like what's the benefit? What are you getting out of it? What are you getting there that you couldn't go do ring rows, bent over rows? Like you and I can give them 100 ideas.
Right.
So
Yeah. And this is not to like fear monger. It's just to
no,
like
no, no.
educate and like totally what you're saying. Like, why do we have to do a pull up at 32 weeks? Like, is that a pride thing? Like, why do we need to be doing that? So I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. No, I know. Again, we could probably talk about that for hours. So
Well,
let's move right along.
before we get ourselves in trouble here, like,
I get some emails and some hate
yeah.
mail. Just a quick pause. If you're feeling like your body doesn't feel like yours anymore after having a baby, if you don't know where to start or you're tired of guessing what's actually safe postpartum, I've got you. I created the Postpartum Restoration Plan to give moms a clear, doctor-designed roadmap to rebuild strength, support their core and pelvic floor, and start feeling strong again. It's just 4 days a week, under 20 minutes, and built for real postpartum life. Whether you're a few weeks or a few years out, it's never too late to start. Click the link in the show notes and I'll walk you through it. So let's talk a little bit about high intensity, because obviously your new program is called LIIT, right? LIIT, low intensity interval training, which I love because I think a lot of women do this naturally. So when I saw you guys come out with this, because I have been fangirling you and Amanda, your partner, for, many, many years. So when I saw you guys come out with this, I was like, this makes so much sense, because this is what I think that fit athletic women do naturally, when you take the ego out of it and when you just like are working out to feel good, to get the endorphins. Like I'm probably like preaching your guys' motto now, but tell me a little bit about how you came up with that and that transition.
Yeah. So again, coming from the competitive world, my business partner, Amanda, and we'd both competed for several years and just got to a point where we were super burnt out. For me, I was burnt out, but then got pregnant and had babies. She was burnt out and she just had a baby like literally 2 weeks ago, which is why she's not on this podcast with us.
Yeah.
But we're seeing high intensity not be sustainable is the bottom line. Like we're looking for, and maybe, you go through seasons of life, right? And we're just at the season where it's not sustainable at all for us anymore and like just cringe at the thought of it. So when I had stopped competing, I naturally, again, like you said, transitioned to like, and so it's lower intensity interval training. So our motto is like, it's not slow. It's just not balls to the wall, all out effort, doing bike sprints till you're on your hands and knees dying. So it's this motto of, hey, let's move our bodies to feel good. There's no pressure. We're not racing the clock. We're not trying to get this many reps by this time frame, because there's so much that you don't even realize that comes with that psychologically of like, I lost to that girl next to me and now I feel defeated and I don't even want to go back tomorrow because I can't stand to lose, or I have to run myself into the ground to beat that girl next to me because I always beat her, or I'm going to injure myself lifting this weight because I need to get the PR. Like, and it honestly causes more stress on your body than what's necessary. So we've created this space. And again, we come from the CrossFit world where you have to do the workout as written. You have to do it as heavy as you can. You have to do it as fast as you can. And to put it quite rudely, like these women have been brainwashed into thinking that this is how you have to work out. And so we've created this space where we basically have given women permission to not have to do that. And it's fun coming from girls who were the best in the world, winning competitions, to like, I went from using 35-pound dumbbells to now I use 15-pound dumbbells for my my upper body workouts. And I don't count my reps. I lose track of my reps. I don't care. Like if the RX standard is like showing up and moving your body. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you don't want to do burpees, don't do burpees. Do something that you love so you keep coming back every day, because it's going to be consistency that gets you results, not doing the workout exactly as written. So all that to say, lower intensity interval training. Sorry, I get a little long-winded when I talk about it.
It makes me think of something when I was like a new CrossFit coach. I've been coaching also for, I think this is my 14th year. And I still coach CrossFit, actually. I coach one day a week just because I love the community. But yeah, my ego is pretty much gone in the gym now. But it makes me think of this time when there was these older women and they, at the time they were probably like late 30s. And I remember them always lifting. I'm sure you remember this too, like always lifting that light barbell. And I'd be like, I know you can lift heavier. And they would be like, yeah, but then I can't pick up my kids. Then I can't do this. Then I'm exhausted. And I remember thinking, like, as a young 20 something, like, that's so dumb. Like, come on, lift the weight you can. Like, you're fit. And now I'm like, oh, just because, again, back to that, just because you can do it doesn't necessarily mean that you should or that you need to do it, right?
Yeah. And honestly, it takes more self-control to do that.
Oh, 100%.
Versus pushing. There's two ego shifts here. It's like, I got to do my best, or I got to have the self-control to not do my best and be okay not like knowing this isn't my best. But it honestly, in the long run, it creates your best because you can do things the rest of the day. You can deal with your kids. You can have energy at 7:49 p.m. when they're screaming, like.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, as you mentioned earlier, the stress. So obviously stress is not just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. But let's just talk about like what you noticed on your body as you sort of transitioned and then what you notice in people you work with.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, and Karlie, you probably teach your population about this, but like stress doesn't compartmentalize. Like your emotional, your physical, your financial, your marital, your relational, emotion, like all of that stress goes into the same bucket. So what I coach my girls through is like, we can control our physical stress. We can control the workouts that we do. So we don't need to go balls to the wall and add that stress to the already full stress bucket here. And so for me, I'm actually like putting myself under this whole stress protocol as we speak because I got my hormones checked and everything is within normal limits. But there are things on the lower side of normal that's causing symptoms like irritability, not a great mood all the time, low sex drive. And I'm like, so now I'm taking my CrossFit psycho and I'm putting it towards my, how do we optimize the suboptimal hormone levels? And I've been doing this for like 2 weeks now. So managing sleep, taking the magnesium at night, taking the sleep supplements, waking up with the sun, going to bed before 9 p.m. or before 10 p.m., getting nutrient dense foods to help support my body. And then the LIIT workouts on top of it, those lower intensity workouts, like better mood, more energy. I actually want to have sex with my husband now. And then the women that I coach, they have better energy. They're actually seeing better physical results from their high intensity workouts. We don't want to say that CF word because we might get in trouble. We'll call it high intensity. They're like, I've been doing high intensity for years. I started doing your LIIT workouts and I'm finally seeing the body composition that I've always wanted. And like nothing but their workouts have changed. So that's been really fulfilling for me to see.
I think it's hard, right? Because like when you're doing that high intensity all the time, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking just for myself, but like we didn't think about that stress level, right? We thought of like, that's like a release. Like it's great. You feel good. You get endorphins, but it's like, yes. And it's a lot of stress on your body. I just think that more and more people are getting hip to that. And you're also eating so much more, right? Like that's the thing is to fuel that, to feel good, you have to eat a lot. And if you're not, that causes a whole other host of problems, right? So it's like you can decrease that intensity, still get good results. And then maybe your appetite isn't through the roof, right?
Yeah, I was just going to, so like you pair the high intensity with diet culture. So like they're training really hard and not eating. So it's just a real huge recipe for disaster. But even then, it's funny, there will be CrossFit competitions where they post like the roster, the picture of girls that are all competing. And like, now that I'm out of it, I just have the rose gold glasses have been taken off. And like, I look at these photos and like, they're all inflamed. Like their eyes are puffy, their faces are puffy, and they are eating sufficient calories. So it's like,
True.
even your diet, yes, like you can fuel that high intensity. And food choices also play a factor in that. A lot of CrossFitters are eating like heavy carbs or even processed proteins and bars and whatever. But it's just crazy to me now that I'm out of it. I can see with like clearer vision. It's like even the diet doesn't always cover the deficit, like your body is still so stressed in that constant high intensity state.
Yeah. And then, like you said, just our daily life, right? Like the kids and the social media and the constant buzzing and dinging and it's just like we're not, I mean, again, we could have a whole episode on this. We're not made to live this way. And we're like just over stressing our systems. I think, like I said, I've naturally been doing this, not your workouts, but I do want to try them. But I've just naturally been doing it because it just feels good. And then you're like, oh, now I'm doing a workout that is restoring me instead of taking away from me, right?
Yes. And that's exactly what we're after is like, this should feel good. You should never look at your workout and dread it. You should be excited to do it. And if you're not excited, change it so you make it feel good and exciting for you.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about diet since we just kind of touched on that. Now, do you still coach nutrition? What does that look like?
I do one-time consults. That's all like I have capacity for now, which I love. Like, tell me what to do and I'll go do it. Love that. I have a team of coaches that I've handpicked that do one-on-one coaching if you're looking for one-on-one coaching. And then again, I mentor other people on becoming nutrition coaches. So I coach coaches.
Gotcha. Nice. And so let's talk a little bit about supporting metabolism in workouts, but just beyond, especially as we're all moms, our hormones are kind of crazy generally. Like, let's talk a little bit about supporting metabolism.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, like I eat every 3 to 4 hours, breakfast, a snack, lunch, a snack, then dinner. Having each meal have proteins, carbs, and fats in all of them, getting your sufficient protein. I always tell my people, you should be eating. So this is actually a huge misconception in the world, I guess. Like that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It's not, if you're trying to lose weight, like if you weigh 300 pounds, you should not be eating 300 grams of protein. You should be eating 1 gram of protein per ideal pound of body weight. So find out what your ideal body weight should be. That's going to be different for whatever your preference is. I'm 5'6". I like a 145 body weight. So I eat 145 grams of protein. So making sure that you get that sufficient protein. And again, now that I'm going psycho on getting my hormones straightened out, I'm like, not from protein powder, not from bars, not from Quest chips. Like you're eating like that's good. And that's better than not hitting your protein. But if you're ready to take it to the next step of like, okay, you know how to count macros, you've been hitting your macros, but you really want to take your energy levels to the next level and keep that metabolism thriving for the long term, let's get like really whole food choices, animal proteins, whole dairy. Like I took out dairy, whole dairy for a while, butter, oil. Like I was doing fat-free, sugar-free. No, like that's not supporting your energy and your metabolism. It's like we need as many things that come from the earth as possible if you really want to take your energy and your metabolism and your fat loss to the next level. So there's also like meal timing. You want lower fats pre and post workout. That helps keep your metabolism in check. Lots of hacks. If you have any questions, come find me. I can totally help you with all of this.
Yes, we love those. So let's talk a little bit more about the future of this. So what do you think as far as like the future conversation about women's health and fitness? Let's say, next 5-10 years, what do you think it looks like?
So I mean, this is where I do love the power of social media because it's bringing such awareness to this topic. As women progress through their 30s, through having babies, into their 40s and beyond, we're seeing such positive impacts from just strength training and walking, and which is so not sexy. It's so
Yeah.
not what we've never known. Strength training and walking, I'm pretty sure like that's never been a thing. But so many women are, I think so many women want that lean and tone body. Every woman I talk to wants the lean and tone body. And we're finally figuring out that that's coming through strength training and like maybe some, running or walking, but we're not doing all out killing ourselves, starving ourselves. So I'm excited because I do think there's just so much more education on proper workouts for women to achieve that look that they want, paired with proper diet. We're not starving ourselves. We're not doing these stupid crash diets. At least that's my hope that we're going in that direction. Maybe because I'm too close to it that I think that's what's happening. But I do feel like it's becoming a very common conversation of like, you have to fuel your body. If you want to look good, stop. Like what you think about cardio and strength training now, you actually need to switch those roles. Like there needs to be more strength training and
Mm-hmm.
less of that high intensity cardio. If you do that, you are on a track to gold.
Yeah. Speaking about the crash diets and stuff, I think more people understand that now and understand like, the average person, I like to think, I mean, maybe we're wrong, but I like to think the average person understands that if you starve yourself, whether, that's intentionally or because you're just like busy throughout the day and you're just like, you forget to eat, you're messing with your metabolism big time and you're setting yourself way back, and I hope that more people know that. I feel like more people know that now than like, back in like the 90s, early 2000s where it was like, eat like 750 calories a day and like, go for a run and like, what? Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice for women navigating like all this noise in health and fitness, and you've given us a lot of great information today, but like, what would that one piece of advice be, or how would you tie that all up into a little bow?
Yeah, it would be my motto. I tell my girls all the time, like something is better than nothing. And I give them this like little nugget daily deposits. Every decision that you make contributes or withdraws from your goals. So like just because you screw breakfast up, you go and have donuts and sprinkles with your children at school, like doesn't mean you can't get back on track for lunch or dinner. You don't have to implode your whole day. Or flip side workouts, it's like I don't have 60 minutes to go work out. Sister, a 10-minute walk is still better than nothing. Like, if you have 30 minutes to watch this podcast, you have 30 minutes to go walk. Like, sorry, but, maybe they're listening in the car, but something is better than nothing has been a huge helper for my girls of like, whether that's like, I got one vegetable today instead of vegetables at all my meals, or I got my 10-minute walk, or like got back to on track for lunch. Like, something's better than nothing. Your daily deposits matter and just keep depositing as many positive choices as you can. You have like 9,000 decisions in a day. If you can even get 1,000 deposits into the goal bucket, like that's better than 5 positive deposits.
Yeah. And I think one, like you're mentioning, one good decision will often beget another, right? So even if you do, quote unquote, screw something up, right? Like arguably, maybe we wouldn't even call it that. But like, then you can like, I always tell people that I see in my practice who are like, I love working with people who are like trying to like change their whole lifestyle, it's so rewarding and fun. It's like, well, when you like are hydrated enough, maybe you have a little more energy. So maybe you go for a walk. Well, maybe if you go for a walk, then maybe you eat some vegetables and protein instead of like McDonald's. It's just like, things like snowball, right? So,
Yeah. But another thing is like, just start with one little habit. Like you don't have to flip like my protocol that I'm doing right now. Like it's taken me 15 years to get here. Like I didn't just flip my world in one day. Like it started with workouts, then I added nutrition and we just kept building. And like now I'm looking at minerals and stress management. Like it's taken years to have the routine that I have now. But again, you have to start somewhere and just start with something. And again, a 10-minute walk will work wonders for you if you're not doing that.
yes. Oh, I love that. Okay. So I have 5 quick little fun questions, rapid fire, just to finish us off here. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
That wasn't one of the questions. Here's the question. Okay. What is your favorite coffee order these days? And if you say black coffee and I'm going to lose it.
No. No, I do limit myself to one coffee for stress management purposes, but it's a iced coffee with extra whole milk, which
Okay.
wasn't always the case, and stevia.
Okay. Always
Hmm.
iced in summer and winter?
I usually will do a hot in the winter, but I do
Yeah.
love a nice coffee.
Yeah. Some people, I always say, some people like, I go hot all year long. Like it'll be 90 degrees out and I've got a hot coffee like
Mm-mm.
a weirdo.
Nope.
I know. So weird. I think it's because I like to drink things super fast. So if I get an ice, I'll like chug it in like 2 minutes. That's why I don't drink alcohol anymore because of like the drink things too
Yeah,
fast.
same.
Yeah. So that's a story for another episode. All right. Favorite workout move that you like actually enjoy doing? Your favorite one?
Honestly, anything that doesn't like get me on my hands and knees after. Like, I'll do anything as long as I just get to like chill through it. Right?
Yes.
No sprint. Like, I do love sprint intervals, but yeah, like if you force me on an assault bike for 3 minutes, like, no.
No, not anymore. Not anymore, sister. If you could eat one snack every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
A dark chocolate, salted, whatever, RX bar.
Oh, yeah. Those are super good. I do like those. Those are like healthy and also a snack, like treat.
Right.
Love
A
those.
treat, like true treat. And like, I'm okay with the ingredients.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is or do you have a favorite mom hack that saves your sanity?
My husband works from home. So having a husband that works from home who's around.
It's a good mom hack.
Like,
I
gets
know.
my kids in the car. Like, oh, so helpful.
I know. When my husband was home during COVID, I was like, it was so nice because he saw the kids so much more. But same thing, he'd like pop down and I'd be like, here, stay here for a minute. I got to go do this one thing. Or, it's like, oh, so nice.
Yeah, like moms are like, how do you do what you do? And I'm like, I have a husband at home who like just getting the kids in the car for me is a lifesaver.
Yes. Yeah, we have an au pair and I get asked like, how do you do all this stuff? I'm like, because I have a lot of help. Like,
yeah,
don't let people tell you or think that they're doing all this on their own because most people aren't.
Yeah. Remote jobs for the win.
Yeah. Okay. So did everyone hear that? Get yourself a remote or a home husband just to,
Yeah.
there you go. That'd be even better. If a mom is listening today and just feels like completely burned out, doesn't know where to start, is like, I got to do something. What's the one thing you'd want her to walk away with today? I feel like you sort of already answered this, but I'm going to ask it again.
Yeah, that something is better than nothing. Like, have grace with yourself. This is hard. And it's like, pick a habit that feels doable, that will help you feel successful and not defeated. And once that feels normal and you can implement it into your routine, then add something else. And again, picking something that feels doable. And then once you get a couple habits under your belt, like then you can start adding the things that kind of like stretch you a little bit. Like right now for me, I'm waking up at 6:30 to go for a walk. Like that's a stretch for me. But now that I've done it for 2 weeks straight now, I'm like, okay, it's actually not as hard as it was 2 weeks ago. So pick things that feel very doable. And they might be stupid, like literally drinking 1 tumbler of water a day, like just as simple as that. And then add 2 and then add 3 and then figure out something else that you can add. So keep it simple and be nice to yourself about it.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Jess, thank you so much. Will you please share with everyone where they can find you, where they can work with you, all that stuff?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, jessica.cahoy. You can find my workouts on Instagram, LIIT.fitapp. Would love to have you guys join us if you need workouts. All of my posts have a call to action for workouts, nutrition, and my hot mom guide if you want to be looking like a hot mom.
I love that. We all want to look like hot moms. All right. Thank you so much. We'll have to have you back. I'd love to chat with you once you're kind of through this stress protocol that you're doing. Maybe we can touch base with you and see how it's going.
Yeah. Love it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Every Mom is an Athlete isn't just a podcast. It's a reminder. Motherhood is athletic, and you're still the athlete you've always been. But it's not about going back. It's about moving forward intentionally and powerfully. If this episode resonated with you, I'd so appreciate it if you'd share it with a friend, leave a quick review, or rate the show. It helps more moms to hear what they need to believe, that every mom is an athlete. See you next time.